Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Good morning, class.
Good morning, sir.
How are you today?
Good, sir. And sir,
Okay, so today's lesson is about adjective clause. So before we start our lesson today, let's recite al-basmalah. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Right, in this gloomy day, not bright day, because here in Medan it's a bit drizzling, ya, hujan gerimis, drizzling, but I hope it will not make you down. You are still energetic to follow or to study English today. Our topic today is about adjective clause. Right, so before we start our lesson, what is in your mind about adjective clause? Or have you heard about adjective clause before? No? I guess you heard about that, but you are not sure whether it is adjective clause or something else. Okay, so today we will learn more. We will discuss more about adjective clause. And before we start further, I'd like to introduce you our learning objective. What are the learning objectives in this lesson? So the learning objective first, to identify the social function, structure of the text of adjective clause. So what is the form and how to form the adjective clause? Yeah, included structure and the social function. And then number two, to differentiate the restrictive and non-restrictive clauses. In adjective clause is divided into two, restrictive and non-restrictive. So how to differentiate about that? So I hope in the end of the lesson, you will be able to differentiate the restrictive and non-restrictive clauses. And the last but not the least, you will be able to apply relative pronoun in adjective clauses. Well, students, those are our adjectives today. Right, so a quick refresher. I'd like to remind you again what is adjective, what is clause, and what is subordinate clause. All right, why? Because these three things or these three terms we will use a lot in our discussion or in this topic. So adjective, do you remember what adjective is? Right, adjective modify noun and pronoun. Yeah, the word that modify noun or pronoun. Or adjective, in other words, you can say that adjective give a description about noun or pronoun. Or in bahasa Indonesia, memodifikasi noun atau pronoun, memberikan deskripsi, menyifati kata benda atau kata ganti, memberikan sifat, ya, adjective, modify noun and pronoun. Ya, dia memodifikasi noun or and pronoun. That is adjective. And clauses. Clauses, group of words contain both subject and a verb. There are two kinds of group of words. Group of words, one is group of words contain of word without subject and verb, which is called phrase. But the group of words which contain both subject and verb, it's called clause. I hope you understand. You understand? Clauses and phrase, both are group of words. Yeah, clause, group of words, it has a subject and also a verb. At least it consists of subject and verb. That is called clause. But phrase, it's also a group of words, but it does not contain subject and verb. It has no subject and it has no verb. Can be group of word consists of noun and noun or preposition and noun. This is just an example, right? So this is phrase, but clause has subject and verb. And number 3, subordinate clause is cannot stand alone, or the clause which cannot stand alone, or we call dependent clause. So that clause need other clause to be completed. If there is no other sentence, it cannot stand alone, or you will be wondering what the meaning of that sentence or what the sentence means. So that's what we call subordinate clause or dependent clause. Cannot stand alone. Right, so you got it from now until now? You understand? Do you have question? Adjective clause and subordinate clause. Any question before we go further? No? All right. So, right, in adjective clause. So remember, we are talking about clause. I hope you still remember clause. What is clause? What is clause? Group of words.
Words.
Word of a subject and a
That's right. Yeah, a group of words which has subject and verb. Okay.
Verb.
Yeah, and adjective modify noun or pronoun. Adjective clause. Now we are joining these two terms together. Adjective clauses or relative clause are like sentences inside sentences. So it is like we are talking about sentence inside sentences. And the job of adjective clause is to modify or to describe or to identify or to make specific the noun phrases that they follow. Yeah, the adjective clause is here to modify. What does it mean modify? Modify can be describe or identify or make specific the noun phrase. Yeah, adjective clause modify. Yeah, modify means to describe or to identify or to make specific the noun phrases that they follow. Yeah, so that is adjective clause. In the sentence, when we put in the sentence, I hope you will understand better. Okay, so okay, next slide. When we are writing on when we are constructing a sentence using relative clause, so we need relative pronoun. You still remember what are those relative pronoun? Who, whom, whose, which, and that. Yeah, who, whom, whose, which, and that. Yes, there are some others for relative pronoun, but in adjective clause here we're gonna use these 5 relative pronoun: who, whom, whose, which, and that. Okay, right. So when do we use who? Who, it is used to refer to people. Remember, we use who for people and replace subject. Yeah? Use who to refer to people and to replace a subject. Next is whom. Whom it used to refer people and to replace an object. That's different. Who is for subject, whom is for an object. But both are for people. Okay, and the next is whose. Used to refer position. What does it mean, position? What is position means? What does
Kepemilikan, sir.
what is it?
Kepemilikan.
Kepemilikan, that's correct. Yeah, kepemilikan, possessions. All right. And the next is which. It is used to refer to animal, an object, or thing. Yeah, thing. It's referred to thing. It can be animal, it can be other objects. Can you use which for people?
Cannot, sir.
Can you use which for people?
Can.
Cannot. Why? Because which is only refer to animals or objects or thing. Now we got, when we're talking about who, can you Can you refer it to cat?
Cannot, sir.
Cannot. Yeah, because cat is not verb, not people, right? All right. So, and the last, that. That is used to refer to people and animals, and it replaces who and which. So that is for all actually. It can be which, it can replace which, and can replace who. Yeah, it can coming into people and coming into thing. Yeah, and it replaces who and which. And here which can be subject and also can be an object. Yeah, replace subject and can replace an object. I hope you understand. Any problem? Do you have any problem? Or do you have question? Before we go further?
Sir, I want to ask
Yes, please.
about maaf sir, saya pakai bahasa Indonesia.
Okay.
Gimana sir membedakan that, who, dan what is it, which dalam penggunaan kalimatnya sir? Maksudnya itu kan that itu kan bisa mengganti.
Okay. Yeah, we will talk about that later on actually, right? So that can replace for all subject, for subject and object, also for things and animals, things and people, or people and animals. But in certain place that cannot be used, right? In certain place. So the adjective clause, it's later on we're going to divide it into two: restrictive and non-restrictive. Yeah, non-restrictive. When it is in non-restrictive, we cannot use that. Yeah, or who and which cannot be replaced by that. We will study about that later. Yeah, in the next topic, in the next slide. Yeah.
Okay, sir.
In the next slide, we will going to talk about that. We will be talking about later on restrictive and non-restrictive clause. Restrictive and non-restrictive clause. So in that non-restrictive clause, so we cannot use that or who or which cannot be replaced by that. All right, so we keep that question later for later. Yeah. Okay. Any other question? No. All right. So so something that you have to remember is how to use who, how to use whom, how to use whose, which, and that later on. Special for that, we keep that for later. Next. All right. So this is how to use who and whose. Okay. So look at this sample. Who? People follow the rules. People are smart. There are two clauses, right? You remember what clauses is? What clauses is? Group of word consists of subject and verb, right? People follow the rules. Is it verb or not? Is it clause or not?
Yes, sir.
Yes, people are smart. Is it clause? Yeah, it's clause, right? So now these two clauses, we are going to put this in one sentence. Okay, in this sentence, people who are smart follow the rules. So in this sentence, you will find the adjective clause. You will find the adjective clause here. All right. So can you tell me which is the adjective clause here? Yeah. Who are smart? Who are smart? Yeah. Who are smart is the adjective clause. This adjective clause describe or modify the noun. Which is the noun? Which is the noun? The noun is people. Kata bendanya ya adalah people. Okay, adjective clause is our adjective. So we go back again to the previous lesson or the slide. Adjective modify noun or pronoun. Modify means describe or make it specific. Yeah. Give a description. So who are smart? What kind of people? People who are smart. Yeah. People who are smart follow the rules. Yeah. People who are smart follow the rules. All right. So we go back again. Yeah. This sentence, if we separate this sentence, yeah, it consists of these two sentences or clauses. People follow the rules. People are smart. When we join this together, one will become adjective clause. Yeah. People who are smart follow the rules. Yeah. People who are smart follow the rules. Is it right that we use who here? Betul nggak ini penggunaan who di sini? Is it correct or
Yes.
not?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
Correct. Why is it correct?
because people is subject.
Yeah,
And-
people is subject and people is noun.
Man.
Man, people is man. Yeah, because people is people. Yeah, people is person. Yeah, it's not thing or not object, not animal, right? So who here is suitable or in correct place? Yeah, people who are smart follow the rules. Now can you join these two sentences become one sentence like this? People who are smart follow the rules, right? So you don't need to use people here. People in the first sentence is replaced by who? Yeah, people follow the rules. People are smart. People who are smart follow the rules, which is the adjective clause. Who are smart? Who are smart is the adjective clause. And who are smart describing about the people, giving a description about people. Orang yang bagaimana sih yang mengikuti peraturan? Orang yang smart. Yeah. When we say people follow the rules, that's correct sentence. That is a meaningful sentence. People follow the rules. But then we need people. Which kind of people? Yeah, people yang bagaimana? Oh, people who are smart follow the rules. Yeah, because there are some people who cannot follow the rules. Yeah, only people who are smart follow the rules. Right? Okay, and then here look at the second sample. Daniel was late again today. He sits next to me in English class. Daniel, who was late again today, sits next to me in English class. Yeah. All right. So here in the first sentence, you can replace who with that. People that are smart follow the rules. Yeah. Who you can use who here. You can replace who by that here. Okay. But Daniel, who was late again today, sits next to me in English class. Okay. Here we are using who. Daniel, who was late again today, and he sits next to me in this English class. Now we join these two sentences together. Yeah, Daniel, who was late again today, sits next to me. So which is the adjective clause? Which is the adjective clause?
Sir.
Which one?
Who was late?
Late.
Yeah, who was late? Yeah. Daniel, who was late again? Who was late again today? Yeah. Who was late again today is the adjective clause. Jadi sebenarnya ini kata sifat. Jadi memberikan kata sifat. Jadi who was late again today itu adalah kata sifat yang berbentuk kelompok kata. Ya, kind of group of words. Sebenarnya dia juga terdiri dari it consists of subject and verb. Yeah, but it is not complete meaning. The meaning is not complete. It is this clause is dependent clause. Dia nggak bisa berdiri sendiri. It has a subject and verb, but it cannot stand alone. Coba misalkan, ada nggak kata kerjanya? Ada, subjeknya ada. We got subject here, we got verb here, but it cannot stand alone. Do you understand if I can say yang datang terlambat hari ini? Can you understand? If I say yang datang terlambat hari ini?
Can, sir.
Ya, you are still wondering, masih penasaran apa maksudnya? Oh, Daniel. Ya, Daniel. Ada orangnya di sini. Daniel who was late again today. So what? Sits next to me in English. Okay. So who was late again today is an adjective clause, and the adjective clause here cannot stand alone. Or what we call dependent clause. Yeah, dependent clause, it means it needs other sentence to complete the meaning. Now, Daniel was late again today. He sits next to me in English class. Daniel is replaced by who? Ya, kan dua subjeknya. Daniel sits next to me. Daniel di sini kepunyaan yang mana ini? Daniel, the first Daniel belong to which sentence? Adjective clause or the next sentence? Daniel sini kepunyaan who sit ya. Daniel sits next to me in a class. And who? Ada nggak subjeknya di sini? Subjeknya who, tapi kita nggak tahu. We don't know which is who. Who is back to Daniel. Daniel, who was late again today, sits next to me in English. You understand? Okay, I'm gonna give you a sample. Okay, I'm gonna give you the sample and exercises, and then please join these two sentences together. Yeah. This is my neighbor. This is, Andy is my neighbor. Andy is the best student in my class. Can you join this together? Andy is my neighbor. Andy is the best student in my class. My class, yeah. Can you join these two sentences together? Can you? Andy is my neighbor. Andy is the best student in my class. Saya nggak? Digabung coba. Andy is my neighbor. Andy is, so the two sentences is Andy is my neighbor. Andy is the best student in my class. Now, can you make it to be adjective clause? Who wanna try? Ada yang mau nyoba? Silakan. Yes? Mana nih? Are you still there? Okay. So, okay then. Okay. Andy is my neighbor. Andy is the best student in my class. So in one sense, when we join these two sentences become one sentence, Andy, who is the best student in my class, is my neighbor. Understand? Andy, who is the best student in my class, is my neighbor. Understand?
Yes, sir.
Okay, one more. Okay, we try again. My brother is here. My brother is here. You can write on your notebook. My brother is here. My brother is here. He has 4 expensive cars. He has 4 expensive cars. Okay, can you join these together?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Please, Shakila.
My brother. Yes, sir. My brother who has 4 expensive car is here.
Right, correct. Yeah, my brother who has expensive car is here. Okay, very good. Right. Right. So it's, the thing is, yeah, who, after who coming verb. Ya, biasanya untuk menandainya, ya, if you got a sentence or question, after who, what is coming after who?
To be, sir.
Who followed by is followed by what? What is was? What is are? What is have? My brother who has 5 cars. My brother, people who are smart. Daniel who was late. Apa ini? Sebut apa ini? Who is followed by verb. Ya, who is followed by verb. Biasanya kalau misalkan Daniel bla 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 titik 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 or blank and setelah itu ada verb, apa di sini yang dibutuhkan? Ya, yang dibutuhkan adalah ada kata kerja, berarti di sini ada kata kerja. Kalau di sini ada sorry ya, Daniel bla 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 bla, di sini ada kata kerja. Di sini biasanya apa? Who. Ya. You understand? Understand? Jadi pahami nggak?
Sure.
Ya, biasanya tuh kalau if you don't understand what is the meaning, you don't know the meaning of the whole words. Ya, in one sentence you don't know the meaning, but then you find verb. Ya, blank blank blank, and then coming up to the blank is verb. So you can pick who. It must be who there. Ya, berarti who di situ karena kata kerjanya ada, subjeknya yang nggak ada. Ya. Okay, so and then you have to look at the subject. Yeah, subject is thing or people. Yeah, if it is people, then who. If this thing is which. Okay, and the next is whose. Yeah, Charlie has a friend. His daughter lives in China. Okay, then we join together. Charlie has a friend whose daughter lives in China. Okay, Charlie has a friend. His daughter lives in China. Or you can say Charlie whose daughter lives in China has a friend. That's okay too, right? Maybe many friends here. Charlie has many friends at school. Yeah, his daughter lives in China. So you can say Charlie whose daughter lives in China has many friends. Yeah, who's here to replace position. Which is the position he's here? Yeah, to avoid using his, then you can use hers. So which is the adjective clause in this sentence? Which is the adjective clause? Can you tell which is the adjective clause? Adjective clause-nya yang mana nih? The phrase coming after the relative pronoun. Which is the relative pronoun here? Whose. So the phrase, ya kata yang datang setelah relative pronoun is called adjective clause. Whose daughter live in China is adjective clause. Yeah. So why do we use whose here? We use whose here. If you look at here, his daughter, it is his. His is kepunyaan, right? Possessions. So to replace his, we use whose. Or whose here is to replace his. Charlie has a friend whose daughter lives in China. Or Charlie, whose daughter lives in China, has many friends. Do you understand? Right. So the next sentence, the next example. The smart teenager went to prestigious college. His parents are my neighbors. Now we joining these two sentences together. The smart teenager, comma. This is non-restrictive. You cannot replace who here, who's with that here because it's non-restrictive. Yeah. But this one, the first sentence, you can replace with that. Yeah. So what is the difference? So we use comma here. The sentence which has comma like this, you cannot replace it with that. This is answering the question before. Yeah, from Shakila or someone else. I forgot. Yeah. When can we use that? Does that replace all the relative pronoun, or in all sentences? In certain places, it cannot be replaced by that. Yeah. So the signs is tandanya apa? When it has a comma like this, or we call them non-restrictive. Yeah. So we're gonna talk about that later. So like comma and then comma here. So we cannot replace by that. All right. So now back again, the smart teenager went to prestigious college. His parents are my neighbors. The smart teenager whose parents are my neighbors went to prestigious college. So yang, orang tuanya. So yang di sini replace his, kepunyaan. So ini kan yang orang tuanya are my neighbors. Understand? Okay,
Yes,
I'm
sir.
gonna give you exercises. My brother traveled to Dubai. His house is empty. My brother travels to my brother travels to Dubai. His house is empty. Can you put that in the, can you change into adjective clause? You join these two sentences together.
Sir.
Yeah, Anissa, Prativi, yes, please.
My brother whose have house is empty.
Okay, repeat once again. Maybe you have to write in your notebook. My brother travels to Dubai. His house is empty. Join it together. Did you write on your notebook? My
Yes,
brother travels to Dubai. His house is empty.
My brother his house is empty travel to Dubai.
Okay. Then you must be careful here. Look at this one here. Charlie has a friend. His daughter lives in China. Charlie has a friend whose daughter, whose is replacing his. You don't need to use his anymore here. You got it? Whose daughter? You don't say who's his daughter. He is already replaced by whose. You don't use whose is again, but you just use whose because it replaced his. That is possession. Can you repeat once again your sentence?
Okay, sir.
Mm-hmm.
My brother whose house is empty travel to Dubai.
Very good. That's correct. Yeah, that's right. My brother whose house is empty travels to Dubai. Okay, well, students, understand? I hope all of you understand. Do you have any question before we go further? No? No question. All right. So now how to use whom and which. Okay. Whom, look at this one here. People follow the rules. People are smart. Oh, this is the same, right? This one. Whom? Whom? This is the man. I met him in Paris. This is the man. I met him in Paris. Yeah, I met him in Paris. This is the man whom I met in Paris last summer. There is a summer there. Yeah? This is the man I met him in Paris last summer. Okay, then we join these two sentences together. This is the man whom I met in Paris last summer. So have a look here at the difference when we are using who. What is coming after who? Who is followed by verb. But when we use whom, what is coming after whom? Subject. Subject, yeah. After whom is subject. And then verb. Itulah formasi dia, or the pattern. Alright. So whom is as an object, or replacing an object. I met him in Paris. This is the man. I met him in Paris. Now we just together. This is the man whom I met in Paris. You understand? And now, which? The wind blew yesterday. The wind was very strong. Yeah, wind is people or not? It's object, right? It's thing. So because a thing or object, so we replace it with which. So we use which here. The wind which blew yesterday was very devastating. Was very, very strong. Sorry. This is strong or devastating. The wind blew yesterday. The wind was devastating. Yeah, or very strong. Yeah, the wind which blew yesterday was very strong or devastating. Which here replacing refer to wind. Wind is an object, and which here as a subject. Yeah, which here as a subject. After subject is verb is coming after the relative pronoun or after which. All right, so you understand? Any question? Do you have question? No? Okay, if you don't have a question, we will continue this lesson in the next meeting. We haven't finished, all right? Because of the time, we have to stop until now for now. And now we're going to still have a lot here, yeah, especially talking about restrictive and non-restrictive clauses. Yeah, restrictive and non-restrictive clause. All right, we're going to talk about that in the next meeting. But first, you have to understand how to use relative pronoun. Okay, so this is for today. Thank you for joining the class. I hope in the next meeting there will be more students joining. All right, so only 17 students are joining today. So hopefully the next meeting there will be more. I think this is all for today. If you have questions, feel free to drop your question in our discussion. And don't forget to do your task in Schoology. Thank you. We close by reciting Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Alamin. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.